5 years. Yesterday we talked about 5 years. Invest in 5 years into a goal. But what happens when you get tired of that? What happens after the 5 years and you decide that this is not what you want to do? Well, I'm here to tell you that you have a right to change your mind.
Yo, this Bone Crusher, and you're watching the Art is King podcast.
Today is December 29th of Starting Out 2020, day 29 of Vlogmas, and another Thriving Artist Art Life Short. I am Delta Tango Mike, and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and share your work with me. I want to fill my timeline with art. So let's talk about this changing your mind. You have a right to change your mind at any time you choose to. Yesterday, I talked about investing 5 years of your life into achieving a creative career goal. And it sounds like a long time. Depending on how old you are, it may sound like a lifetime. It may sound like a little bit of time. And in my case, I've done this before several times, so I have a process in which you create a business idea, you develop your skills, and then and launch to make in a way that it ensures success. So every time I try something new, I already have an idea of how I want it to work and what I need to do to achieve it. And so I say put in 5 years so that you get to try all the things that you need to do to make sure that this is something that you like. And you won't know that you like it. You won't know that you're good at it if you don't give it that full-time effort. And I say 5 years so that there's a limit. So after 5 years, you can say, well, this is actually working. It's been working since year 2. Or I've been putting in time on this and it's not something that's not right. Or this is not for me. At which point, yes, you have a right to change your mind or change your focus. But at least you have gave it your all. And let's say, what about, can you change your focus and change your mind before those 5 years? Yes, of course you can. However, the chances of you seeing the success increase with the more time you put into it. So you have to be okay with saying that the time you put into this and the effort you put into this thing that you're abandoning, it was not enough to see it succeed. And instead, what happens is that a lot of artists, and this happened to me, you try something, you kind of give it your all, and it said, this is not working. Well, that doesn't work. That's not real. That ain't going to happen. It's not working, and that's not a thing that is going to ever work. And so instead of looking at ourselves and saying, well, did I do everything that I was supposed to do? And I have these conversations with artists all the time, and that they tell me, hey, my career is not moving forward. I'm not getting the clients that I want. I'm not working on the projects that I want to work on. What do I need to do? And I said, well, let's go down the checklist and see what you've been able to do so far and where have you invested your energy? A lot of times we all fall short of putting in 100% into this thing. So just recognize that. But once you change your mind, say, okay, I'm going to try this new thing, but I got to give it my all now into this thing. Not, well, I'm kind of trying that out. I'm kind of trying this out, and then I'm going to see if this actually works. This other thing that I want to do. And next thing you know, you have different projects going on at different times, going on at the same time with different people, and they're at different levels. And you're trying to see which one is going to work, which one is going to stick. Just start throwing things at the wall and see what sticks. And no, we can't do it that way. You can. Maybe some people can. As a matter of fact, if you have the budget to pay a staff and you have a staff for this and a staff for that and a staff for that and a team for that, yeah, you can accomplish many things at the same time. Because now you're delegating, but then you're in a whole different position now. But when it comes down to achieving career goals that are in the creative industries, then you're going to have to make a choice and say, I changed my mind on this thing, Dan, but I'm going to go ahead and try this. And then I'm going to apply everything that I know that works in the business of art and go at it. And let me tell you, there aren't too many things out there that you can try today that you can say they don't work. They may not work for you. You may not be the person for it. You may not have the energy or passion for it. We talked about this before. Heart. However, I'm here to tell you that there is proof that many others have succeeded and are successful today doing that thing that you say you want to do. So it can be done. It is possible. Many of us are walking proof, living proof that this thing that we want to live, this art life, is possible and we can do it. It just takes a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of dedication, investing all of our time to make it happen. I wrote something down. Let me see. You have a right to change your mind, but how will you know if you can succeed? How will you know if you can succeed if you don't go all in? Others have done it. So make a choice, live with your choice, and try to go all in on it. Now, which choice should you choose? Which option should you choose? Should you choose when you have many different things that you want to do? I have a formula for that. And I like to think about several things. Number one, what level of talent are you on these things? Whichever level of talent you, whichever industry idea you have, whichever industry idea you're thinking about, look at your level of talent in that industry, and the highest one gets priority because you already further along when it comes to that talent. You got to have the talent. Which one do you know the business in? Which one have you had experience working in projects in? Which one which one of those industries do you have a largest network of people who are working in this thing in? Which one are you closest to having a full portfolio that can put you in the level of the high-paid artists or creatives in those fields? That's how you start measuring stuff. And that I did that with one of my mentors. And I had to write it out and make a list, and I had tables, and they looked like silos and all these details. And I looked back and I said, you know what? I'm already doing some of these things, and this one is paying me the most. And that's another thing. Money. Which one is paying you the most? Which one do you make most money per transaction than the others? And so when you look at it that way, then the answer becomes very clear to follow this one particular path. But then I kind of like that. I'd like this other thing better. No problem. Make the money you can with this thing now. Take it all the way you can. Invest those 5 years and invest that focus on it. You're not actually changing your mind when you switch gears later. What you actually do is you add on later. Now that you have a full business, making money, paying your bills, living that life you want to live with this one talent and skill, now you can say, you know what, I invest some of my time to start building this other thing that I really have a passion for, but I started the first thing because I was really good at it. This is exactly what we all do when it comes to earning a living in life. When I left home, when I left for the Marine Corps, and once I got to Atlanta, all those years working, they were not working artist years. They were working as a cook, working in a steel company. I was a forklift driver. I worked at a Sunny Delight, at a Hawaiian Punch company. I did a lot of different jobs to earn money to pay for my life before I finally found a way into living and breathing art and getting paid for it. And what you have a chance to now is to focus on one art career. It may not be the one you want to be in the most in. It may not be your most favorite, but it'll be the one that you're closest to making money in. And that's what you do. That becomes your job. And as time goes on, you start building the next passion. And as time goes on, this pays for that. It eventually that grows, and you put in the same amount of time and energy you did onto this, to the point where now you can leave this behind. And I've done that in my art career. I've left behind graphic design. I left behind web design. I don't say no to some projects, but those are not the projects that I'm actively out there looking. I left behind, to an extent, tattooing. I left some of these things behind, not because I'm no longer interested. It's because I found 2D illustration to be where my joy is at, where I find the intersection of getting paid, drawing, and I enjoy the projects that I work on. I say, you know what? This is what I'm going to focus 100% of the time. But even then, there are projects that come along, and I'll say, you know what? I'm going to give 2-3 weeks on this other project, and I'm going to paint, and I'm going to bring a big canvas, and I'm just going to paint on that and paint all these other paintings and get that creative out of my system. So there will come a time where you can jump around and do things. And it's not changing your mind, it's adding on. And that's what you want to add on. You do have a right to change your mind, but let's build one thing to a point where you just add on a second thing. And build that thing to the point where later on you add another thing. Don't just hop around and change your mind nilly-willy. We got to plan this out so that you are successful every step of the way. And you get to live and breathe art 100% of the time, if that's what you want. I am Delta Tango Mike. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Delta Tango Mike. Check out more of these videos at the Art is King YouTube channel. And check out some more of my demos and tutorials on my YouTube channel, Vector My Estimates. Until next time.